Hey everybody, Raccoon Ninja here, and welcome back to Banished. We haven't played Banished in quite some time, and I want to get back into it. This is my second most requested game, so I figured we would try out one of the new packs that the Black Liquid Software folks have come out with. So anybody who's seen my previous series know what Colonial Charter is. The same people who made Colonial Charter also made this. It's called MegaMod. It's specifically MegaMod version 8, release candidate 4. So it is pretty darn neat. The difference between this and Colonial Charter is this includes a lot of Colonial Charter stuff, and it includes a whole bunch of different packs from other folks. So if you go into pretty much any of these menus, you'll see that some of them have blue outlines, yellow outlines. Those are the various packs. So we have Colonial Charter, we have Red Ketchup, Kid Homes and Housing, DS Housing and Accommodations, EB Housing and Homes, MD Homes and Housing. I believe that there's a few more. DS Mods, Despo 20, EMBX 61. There's just a whole lot of different mod creators that all kind of came together and made this one mod pack. So there's a lot of stuff in here, and this is a much more refined version than they had about a year ago. So version 6 was very open. They just had everything that you could possibly imagine within all of those mod packs, and they didn't really work all that great together. A lot of them had some very cheaty items that you could kind of advance really quickly in the game, but they took out a lot of that, which is half disappointing. So let's get everything set up here. I'm going to get our corner set up. We have our professions. Professions pane is absolutely massive now. So if we take a look at this thing, it takes up nearly the entire side of the screen. So I've got the compact version here. And the other change is the fact that we are going to be doing the Oasis challenge. I don't actually know if this is a real challenge. This is just something that came up on my own. Other people may have done something similar. I'm not trying to rip anybody off. I just thought this would be kind of a cool idea. So first thing you need to do is go into a desert or a red desert map and completely terraform the entire thing. So go in and use your flatten power tool and flatten absolutely everything that there is to flatten, including the lakes, the mountains on the side, everything. The only thing that you want to keep in is the river, because we need to keep the river for trade purposes. But everything else gets completely flattened. Now the rules. The rules are you can only use the river for trading purposes. So imagine that this is a road. You can't use it to catch fish. You can't use it for like a wharf and ship where you get food and blubber and all that kind of stuff. The only thing you can put on this are the trade buildings, and that's it. There is going to be probably one exception to that. That's the sand and clay digging, because I don't think you can get that anywhere else except using the bank of a river here. But we're in a desert. Sand and clay should not be hard to get. So we're going to have to use the water for those specific buildings, but everything else, if it has a land counterpart, you have to use that land counterpart. You cannot use the river. The other thing is we cannot use the mountains on the side. So this should be a big, wide open, flat desert as far as the eye can see. So you won't be able to use barn banks or any kind of mining equipment or anything on the banks here. It shouldn't allow you to, because this is the edge of the map. But just in case there is something that allows you to use the edge of the map to build on, you're not allowed to do it. You have to imagine that this is a completely flat desert and that this river is a road and not actually a waterway. Other than that, that's pretty much it. So why don't we go ahead and get into this? Should be a good time. I did do a little bit of a test on this just to see if you could actually survive with this little amount of resources. You can. And I made it harder, so I scraped away quite a bit of our usable area here just to make it a little bit harder. So we'll see if I made it too hard. So a couple things that we are going to need right off the bat is we're going to need, the last thing I did was I put in a forest pond here. If you go into the food and then the first tab, you can either put in this forest pond right here or this forest pond. They don't cost any resources, and you can get 2 fishermen in here. I figure being an oasis, you need some sort of a water source in the middle of it to feed all the plants around here. So that's the only reason that this is in here. You can choose to omit it if you want. It doesn't really play a significant role in there, but I figure we need some sort of a water source in the middle of this guy. So yeah, that's it. So let's get into everything that we got going on here. The cheapest is probably going to be a settler's tent. Takes 8 wood. What else we have here? Like everything else takes stone, and stone is going to be very precious to us because we don't have a whole lot of it to start with. You can't just do a map clear and get a unlimited amount of stone. There are a few other ones that you can do, but I don't think they were all that impressive. Like you can do these little cottage things for 16. You can do, yeah, there was like a beach party one right here. So you can do a beach house for 16 and everything like that. But the settler's tent, I think, is the easiest, and it looks the most, you know, nomad-y, desert-y thing, kind of like that. So if we had a bunch of people that were going through the desert and found an oasis, I think they would probably make a tent like this. So let's go ahead and make ourselves a little community here. Boom, boom, and boom. We'll let them start doing the work on that. Remember, you have to put in a stockpile before they'll do any work, and we need to get some builders up in here. And the other thing we have to do is we have to remove some trees, because we are on the red desert, large, warm, arid. Disasters are off, and we're on the Antilles hard, so we have pretty much no resources at all to start all of this with. We've got a little bit of firewood, a little bit of food, and a couple of tools and clothes. That's it. So if you remove too many trees to put in your original buildings, you're taking away a lot of your food production capabilities. So just be very, 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 very careful when you're doing that. So we'll let them tear down a couple of trees. We'll put in these settlers' tents. And then the first thing that I'm actually going to do is put in some wood processing. Let's turn that off because it's really annoying. The other thing that they removed from this is they got rid of the dense forest shack, which was my absolute favorite building in this entire game, and they got rid of it. One dense forest shack only covered, say this little clearing right here, but it could give you enough wood to last the entire game. It was my absolute favorite. But, so we have to go with something else. We're going to go with the Forester Lodge palm trees. I'm actually going to build a couple of these. We want to make sure that we get our tree production on point. So I know that's a lot of materials, but it has to happen. I'm not too worried about our stone. We are going to use up a lot of stone to make these, but if you go into your resource gathering here, into your mining, we don't have the option of putting in a mine. We have to use the surface mine. So the stone and salt mine and the iron ore and coal mine are going to be the easiest. They just require wood. So we don't have to worry about using up all of our stone and metal resources because we can use wood to get more stone and iron. Alright, so what else do we need? We need some firewood, because even though this is a hot climate, they will still freeze to death for whatever reason. You can freeze in the desert. It is very likely that you will. They get very hot during the day and very cold at night. So that's why that happens. So we do want to make sure that we have a little bit of a forester so that we don't have all of our people freezing to death. Right. Looks like we just had a child born. We had a couple children. Actually, I think you start with 2 children. We have a third now. So that's good. They're starting to reproduce. And we are going to put 1 person at each of these farms. And they'll be able to go through and just start planting trees. They're not going to be cutting anything down, so we don't need a whole lot of them. But we just want them to start planting. Wait for this one to come up. There we go. Alright, so then we can start getting some trees in here so that our food production is not going to suffer too incredibly much. Now we need to put in some food production. So we can't do fishing. We're going to have to use hunting cabins and gatherers' huts. The hunting cabin pretty much takes up this entire area. They do have some other hunting areas, so you can hunt with, is that muskets or is that a knife? I can't really tell. You can make baskets and you can have people gather with baskets. All kinds of stuff like that. But we are going to do, what are we going to do here? I think we're probably going to do, ooh, that guy's big. I think we'll do this. So we're going to use the medium-sized forest gatherers. And we'll put one there and one there. And we're going to do the same thing for our hunting cabins. Let's see, tiny hunter. Thought we had another hunting cabin that we could do. A village hunting cabin. Yeah, that would probably do. So we did the village forest food gatherers, so let's do the the village hunting cabins as well. Let's increase priority on these two, I think, and then we'll be able to get those in. Let's put 2 people at our little fishing hole here, just so that we get a little bit of food production. Let's do a resource clear on food gathering, just so that we have something available, and then we should be good. Let's see. Alright, so I think we are out of trees, and that's one of the problems that we're running into. So, I guess we could stop production on these guys. Like I said, I don't want to... We'll pause you, we'll cancel you. I don't want to cut down too many of these trees because they are our entire food source at the moment. And see, we got little bits of saplings here and there from this guy, and this one we got just a couple little saplings going. So let's do a little bit of a speed up on here. I think the food gatherers will give us a little bit more resources than the hunter at this level. Harvest just a couple of trees. I'm just harvesting like 1 or 2 little tiny trees from within the forest. I'm selectively cutting those so that we don't run out of our food resources. Alright. Food gatherer is getting built. And let's do our hunter now. And let's max this guy out. There we go. Alright, how are we doing? Looks like everybody's got a little bit of food reserve. Even though we're out here, we do have a little bit of a food reserve in each of those huts. Alright, there we go. So already we have enough food for 1 person to live. And we have to feed about 15. How are we doing over here? 82 fish, so we almost have 1 person's worth of food made there. Looks like we need a little bit more log. I think we do have... No, we really don't have a whole lot of trees being harvested here, so hopefully we'll be able to get enough logs for that to happen. Alright, 154 food. We are looking pretty good. Gotta say, this is tough. Not having pretty much unlimited resources to work with to begin is not as easy as it sounds. Alright. So a couple of the buildings that they took out are the civic buildings. So like they used to have a tiny town hall. They used to have a what was it? A sacred word school, which was my absolute favorite because it was 5 stone and you could have 25 students there. They took that out. So a lot of these schools were replaced with the Celtic version. So Celtic Schoolhouse, the and there was some other housing and other themed items like that that were all replaced with Celtic items. So quite a bit more expensive, so we can't do the tiny buildings anymore, which is a bummer, but it is what it is. Alright, so food production is looking pretty darn good. You can see that we're getting a lot more tree growth here. That's paused. We'll see, where is it? There it is. So we are part of the way to a new gatherer, and we are pretty much nowhere on the new village hunter. How are these guys doing? So this one hasn't actually produced anything yet, and this one is looking pretty good. I think we're almost net positive on food production, if I am reading this correctly. Alright. Man, trees take a long time to grow. Ay. I think we might cancel that. I think 3 food production buildings is going to be enough. Let's see, we have 2 there and we have 3 there. Yeah, we'll stick with that for now and see how that goes. How are you guys doing? 157. These aren't actually producing enough food to sustain themselves, which is kind of a problem. We'll see what happens. We're at early summer, and we're about halfway there. They might be producing enough food to feed themselves. These guys are just going nuts, though. So let's turn that off, and let's get a little bit more food production going here. And actually, let's get a little bit of warmth going, because they're going to need it pretty soon. So let's cut down a couple more trees very selectively here, so that we can get a little bit of warmth going. The other thing that we're going to need is trading posts, which are super expensive. They're like 150 wood. So we may have a problem with that. A lot of seeds trader. This guy is awesome. So the other seed trader that they used to have, it was just the regular seed trader or farming supply trader. They only allowed 1 seed at a time to come through. The a lot of seed trader trades like 16 seeds at once. It's freaking awesome, and definitely one of my favorites. What else we got here? So yeah, the old trading post is 140. We have industry supplier. I think it's industry, yeah. So wood, stone, iron, and fuel, but we need logs, or we need lumber for that. We need lumber for those. Bootlegger, not really what we want. Here's just the standard trading posts. 82 logs. The small port is 64 logs. The large port is 80. Holy buckets, this thing's big. This guy's huge. But it's 86. Oh, it's 220 stone. That's a lot of stone. Industry merchant. Logs, iron, stone. Yeah, that needs a lot of materials though. We might actually just do the standard trading post. That's 80 and 40 though. Where was the industry supplier? Is 60. Honestly, let's just do the regular trading post for now. We have to do it. It's just something that we need. If we can get like 200 wood at a time coming from the trading post, I think that would be just absolutely fantastic. What are you? Without a job. We're a hunter. Why is the hunter... Oh, that's why. So that was maxed. Alright, so food production is actually looking pretty good. We've got 1,000 food. We have some firewood. Yeah, let's actually turn down our firewood production to the minimal possible. Fuel, like 20. And then let's turn up everything else. So logs, stone, minerals, textiles, forge, industrial construction. Everything else we are pretty much going to max. Health is going to be maxed. And then there we go. So that should do us pretty good. So they're not going to freeze anytime soon. And we also almost have our trading post in. That is pretty cool. Let's remove just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit more trees here. One mechanic in the game is there's a determination when you're using the food gathering and the hunting cabins. There's a determination that the age of the trees within the ring determine how much resources it produces. So if we put a hunter and gatherer right here, it would not produce as much as if it was right here. Even though there's a lot of trees here, they're new growth trees instead of old growth, and it's not going to be quite as efficient. So just kind of keep that in mind, that you don't clear cut these, plant a brand new forest, and then put your food gathering in there, because it's not going to be quite as efficient as you would hope. And since we're on the hard difficulty, we don't have any seeds, we don't have any livestock, we don't have anything like that, so we need to make sure that we get all of that taken care of. We actually do need some stone, so let's gather up a little bit more stone here. We're doing on iron. Oh, you know what? This is straight up iron. That's not iron ore. I thought the Colonial Charter guys had converted this to iron ore. That's a problem. What are we gonna do about that? That's iron? Oh. Or did they get rid of iron ore? Did they honestly get rid of the iron ore? Let's take a look. No, it says collect iron ore. Let's look into this a little bit before we go too much deeper. So this is iron ore. Do we actually need to start making iron to be able to do any trade? Let's see, tin, copper, tunnel mine, small iron ore mine, that needs a mountain, coal, industry mine, coal and iron ore. This mine has a large production capacity of 48,000, of course the mine requires 165 to build. You need money for that. There's some sort of a money aspect now. Interesting. Very interesting. Tiny quarry. Tiny mine needs a mountain, so we can't do that. Marble quarry, salt works, stone gather. Multi-mine, multi-quarry. We could try a multi-quarry. This quarry can be removed, and it says it gets iron. Let's give it a shot, shall we? It's 80 logs, though. Urgh. I need so many logs here. What if we change up our plan here? What if we do the Allotted Seeds Trader? If we do the Allotted Seeds Trader, I'm actually going to cancel this because we can't build it right now. We'll get those resources back. So if we do the Allotted Seeds Trader, we'll be able to get some seeds. From seeds we can get food. Once we have food, we can pretty much clear cut this. How does that sound? I think that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna have to do. I also need tools, and they got rid of my favorite tool producer. It was, where is it? Here we go. It was the tiny village blacksmith, I think it was. It was a 2x2 building, and then it had a 2x2 road area, so it was a 2x4, and it produced every type of tool in the game. So there's a bunch of new tools that were introduced. There's the carbon tool, the gem tool, the hardened tool. That one could produce all of the different types of tools from all of the different packs, and it was awesome. But they got rid of it. just like everything else that I love. Everything else that I love has left me. It might as well leave me too. So we have to figure out what we want to do for a blacksmith. All these require iron. I have to imagine that they de-emphasized iron. What else could they possibly do? I want them to gather this. I want to see if this is iron ore or if it's iron. Wait, that requires 40 iron too. That's not stone. Well, what do we do? How does one... Yeah, these are iron... This is iron ore. Okay, so we have to figure out how to get iron here, because that is going to be a complete stop on all production. I think we'll continue on with this. We'll wait for a lot of seed trader, and we'll get some food so that we can just clear cut this. We might as well just clear all the stone and metal from there. I guess we have to put in a fuel production. Char burner produces industrial coal from firewood. Small refinery. Yeah, man, that throws a wrinkle in this. That's for sure. Let's get some tools for everybody. So, let's see, iron tools. Forge, foundry, blast furnace. Using high temperature, large airflow blast furnace, perfect for industrial. And we need tiny workshop for tools and clothes. Let's throw one of these in here. This requires lumber, able to process high quantities of iron ore into iron with the aid of refined fuel. Coke, charcoal, and furnace fuel. So we can just use charcoal in a blast furnace to convert it. That might be an option. Because the mines all require furnace fuel, and furnace fuel uses coal to make furnace fuel, and then furnace fuel into iron. This just does charcoal directly into iron. So that might be a good option for us. Let's see. So we have 76 logs. We have no firewood. Looks like they used all of it up. Actually, we have some folks here. We can do a couple more builders. Try and get this seeds trader done. And I think we'll probably do our forest planter there. Yeah. That's what we're gonna have to do. So we'll get another source of food going, and then we'll be able to clear cut this area and build a couple more buildings, and then we'll be able to make a charcoal. Where would that be? Where's the stack burner? That's what I'm looking for. Stack burner. That requires stone and it requires lumber. So we definitely need to put lumber in. That's something that we can't really get around. So let's throw in a saw pit. We'll just throw it in here. And see what happens. I also want to do more hunters so that we can get a little bit more leather, because leather is going to be an important trade item. We're doing our food production. Yeah, it's not really producing a lot of food. The one thing I've noticed about the village hunting cabinet, it only has 4 lines and it doesn't let you scroll. I think it does produce more items. You just can't see it, or this building is preventing itself from generating more items. So it should do duck meat and venison, and it's not. So I don't know if you just can't see it or if it's just not producing it. So that's kind of weird. Alright, let's... I think... I need the Seeds Trader to come through with something good. That's what we're waiting on right now. The Seeds Trader is going to be what we're going to use to benchmark, see how much of an easy time we're going to have going forward. Wooden tools, stone tools. This requires 1 log and a stone. I think we need to do that. So let's tear down a couple more trees here so that we can get some tools going. Because these guys need tools. They're going to work far too slowly. Our food production is good, so we're not at least going to starve to death. So we're good there. Alright, and then we got our forester here. Why are you not? There you go. So we can start planting some more trees up there, and then we are looking a little bit better here. We might as well put somebody here and start transporting some goods. So we're going to do leather. We're going to do flowers. For whatever reason, you produce just tons and tons of flowers. I don't remember what they're actually used for, but we don't need them right now. Everything else here is pretty much useful. Bone meal we don't need. Feathers we don't need. We'll go like that. Let's see how that does for us. Yeah, so 405 flowers. I don't know why they produce so many, but when you do the collect wild clear, they just get billions and billions of flowers. So it's good for us because that pays for 1/3 of a seed. All right, what do we have? So yeah, so the allotted seeds trader. Look how many seeds it gave us right off the bat. Man, everything here is expensive though. You know what I didn't do? I didn't look up the blackberries. Are those plants or are those like is that an orchard? I think a blackberry, yeah, blackberry grows in a bush, not a tree. So we might do blackberries. I didn't look up the list to see which can grow in certain temperature climates. Let's see. Game. I thought there was a way you could do, yeah, Celsius temperatures. So this is Fahrenheit. It's 52 degrees. That's pretty chilly. I guess we could probably do pretty much anything here. Might do blackberries. Chickpeas. Lentils. Bananas. Bananas are trees. We don't want that. Why don't I actually look this up while we're at it? MegaMod crops. MegaMod guide. MegaMod crops list. That is not helpful. Let's see. List of seeds. It is also not helpful. Seed merchant. Colonial charter crops. Temperature chart. There we go. All right, so blackberry is a crop. It grows in moderate temperatures. What else was there? Chickpeas and lentils. Chickpeas grow in moderate. Lentils, not on this older list. Corn, bamboo, barley. Watermelon, wheat. Wheat in here? Wheat is in here, but it's 4,000. I don't think we can afford anything near that. We're gonna be cutting it close as it is with our production capabilities. Yeah, we definitely need a 2,500. Let's see, harsh arid, warm arid. 100 is low of 50, high of 110 degrees. So the 90-degree ones will probably do okay for now. I think we will just do blackberry. So we need 1,400 more production. What else can we do? We have a little bit of honey. We don't need honey right now. We have... yeah, so our lumber built, so we can start going on that. Flax? Do we actually have any flax? Oops, I don't want to do ginger. I guess we could do flax if we got any. Yeah, we have a little bit of flax. Flax is 2, that's good. How are we doing here? We're still only at 1,000. Bummer. Do we trade stone? I think we might have to trade some stone. Can we trade 50 stone? How far will that take us? Stone's expensive. Stone is a value of 7. We can do that. So right now we need trees. We're actually not using this little corner of trees, so let's cut that down. Let's cancel gathering here. Those guys won't give us any lumber. Alright, so let's max out everything else here. We need 1,100 more. That's a lot of stone. Still need 700 more. Oof. Oof. That's a lot of resources. We do have 4 laborers. Why don't we do like this? Let's put in a... What does iron ore give us? Iron ore is 2. That's worthless. Let's put in a stone mine. We'll do a stone and salt mine. What do we want to put this? I think we'll put this over here. We'll do a stone and salt mine. We'll start mining stone, and then we'll use that as our trade resource. I think that's all the only options that we have. I think that's all we can do. That's 65 logs. Alright. So let's increase priority on that. Are we going to have enough logs? Actually, they haven't cleared out this area, so they will have enough logs eventually. Yeah, perfect. And if you've never played this pack before, you'll notice these purple and the red rings. They're a little bit different. The yellow ring is the area where this will gather. The purple ring is an area of good influence, so if you put like homes and stuff, people will be happier in the purple ring. This is bad influence, so people will be unhappy if you build homes and things within this ring. So just kind of be aware of that. Don't put your stone and salt mine right next to your housing, because that won't end well. We could also use a barn, because we got a lot of stuff that's sitting on the floor here. That might actually be why we don't have a whole lot of leather. It needs to be in a barn to be able to use it. So let's go ahead and do a barn. They took away the medieval barns as well, which was my favorite barn structure. So we'll have to go with something else. So small storage barn. This is a regular for 48. Fruit and veggie barn. Yeah, so it's the Celtic storage. They're pretty cheap, but they don't hold a lot. 700 capacity. I think these are like 5,000 capacity. Just as a reference. Old barn. Cannot be upgraded. Slightly more than a regular barn. What do we want to do? I think we just want to do a storage barn. 4816. Yeah, it's going to cost us more resources, even though it says it's slightly more. So it's not really too incredibly worth. Alright, so let's throw a barn in here, and hopefully we'll be able to use that. Actually, we'll go down to 5, we'll do stone. So now we have a volume of stone coming in that we can use for trading, which is good. Let's get this done so that they can move their resources, and we'll see if we have any extra leather that we can trade. 48. Yeah, they got some more trees cut down yet. Let's do another resource clear as well. So collect wild foods. That'll give us more flax, that'll give us more flowers, a lot of the things that we don't really need that we can use for trading. Alright, we're 11% full on there, so we should be fine. Alright, so hopefully we see just an absolute ton of leather coming in here. Let's see, there's some honey. I think that's all food items, though. I don't see any leather in there. I don't see any leather there. Where's our forester? I don't see any laying on the ground, so we might be SOL on the leather front, but we'll see what happens. This can be upgraded. Oh, those are candles. That's the new candle icon. They used to be white, now they're yellow. Okay. I thought it was like stacks of gold coins that you got from the like there was a courthouse and there was the governor's office that collected taxes and things like that. I figured it was like a gold fennec or something like that, but that does not seem to be the case. All right, let's see how far we've come here. We're almost there. We're almost there. Yeah, so flowers, 710 flowers gave us 710 value for freebie. So that's pretty good. Man, this thing is at 96% already. Oh, rip! And it needs another 100 wood and candles. So we got to produce candles. Ripper-rooney. I might just make another one. I think making another one will be cheaper. Where was that stone? Yeah, so it's 65. We could probably do a quarry. I think we do have some lumber now. Yeah, we have 32 lumber, so we could probably do a quarry. This quarry can be removed. I might. No, that needs. That's iron, not stone. Rip. All right. Well, let's increase our stone output here so that we can finally buy a seed. And then we'll start farming. And then we'll be good. we can get rid of these gathering huts. We're going to keep the hunting cabin because we want to continue to produce leather. Because leather is always going to be a good trade option. So hunter cabin. I don't know what the difference is between these cabins. This is 30 and 8. This is 34 and 12. This is 24. So that one is pretty much matching up with the... Yeah, okay, so this one's a little bigger than this one, but we don't really need it to be bigger. This is a tiny hunter. It's only 24 logs. I think this can only do one person, though. Where was that village hunter? There's the village hunter. 34 and 8 versus 34 and 12. I think the hunting cabin can do up to 4. So why don't we do that? Let's do the regular vanilla hunting cabin in here, and then hopefully that'll continue us with a supply of leather. Let's see. There we go. So we need... Really? We're still going to come up short. I don't want to give away more stone. We honestly need it. What else can we do? What else can we do here to get the rest of it? I guess we've got enough food. It's not that big of a deal if we start chopping down some more trees. So, very interesting. Very interesting. This is definitely a challenge, that's for sure. I think once we get our food production on point, we'll be fine from there. We need to figure out iron. I think we're going to do iron next episode. The goal for that is renewable resources. By the way, these renewable resource shacks are pretty much banned. So these are super, super duper efficient. It basically, in this little ring, it grows iron and stone and all that kind of stuff, and the amount that it produces per worker is insane. It's like 3 times the amount. So you might see the renewable resources here. I would recommend you don't use these. They're pretty much cheating. So just to kind of give you a little heads up on that. But use them if you want. Obviously, I don't want to tell you how to play your game, but I would recommend you don't use them for that purpose. All right. I think we're almost there. 168. What else can we give away? I mean, we have some logs, but logs I don't think go for much. I think we got to do more stone. Yep, I think we got to use stone. So we don't have any leather. That was one thing I probably should have done, is done the extra hunting cabin for the extra leather. I was crushed by a rock. Bummer, dude. Alright, so let's max these. 115 yet. A little bit more stone, and we should be there. 105. Oh, we are out. Ooh, we got one more flax. No more flowers. We used up our entire flower stock, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Come on, bring more stone. Bring more stone. I need like 15 more stone. Alright, we got a little bit more flax here. Almost there, almost there, almost there. Looks like this guy's going pretty good, so he's got some trees planting up there. These guys are pretty much fully planted. These are, like I said, all new growth trees, so they're not going to produce quite as much food, but They should do just fine. Ah, hurry up. What are they using all their stone on? Because we are producing stone. Oh, it's very, very, very slowly. That's a bummer. I'd do another stone mine. Let's do another stone mine. And do we want to do a quarry? Let's see how many we have. 80, so we could do a quarry. Where do we actually want to put our quarry? I think I might do like down here for our more permanent stuff. Let's see, multi-quarry needs iron, so we can't do the multi-quarry. Iron gatherer. The iron gatherer and stone gatherer is basically like the hunter. You just put it down and it automatically gathers out the stone. They're pretty worthless in my opinion. So, since we already did a resource clear on it, we don't have any reason to put those in. Alright, I think I'm going to do a quarry down here. We'll do a big quarry. I think this can have up to 30 workers. And then we need to put in a bridge. Where's the bridges? Bridges, and I think we'll do just our good old-fashioned drawbridge. It's going to be 80 logs. Ugh, so many logs for everything. Let's see. Let's just kind of take out a couple of trees here and there so we can build that. And we should be good. How are we looking here? Hey, look at that. So there we go. 2,500 for blackberries. Trade. Dismiss. Next, I think the seeds that we're going to focus on are going to be. Well, we honestly need charcoal. That's a bummer. Because charcoal you can only get from logs. Yeah. Where was that? There it is. Coke, charcoal, and furnace fuel. So charcoal you have to get from logs. You can't get that from anywhere else. You can't use like fire bundles and stuff like that. Charburner. Industrial coal from firewood. So we can't use that either. Fuel refinery, we can use bundling sheds. So we might actually have to go with fuel refinery instead. I'll think on that for next episode and we'll see what we want to do. Yeah, I know I have a ton of venison I could give away, but I honestly don't like giving away food. So what's going to happen is we're going to get an explosion of population. Actually, that's a good reminder. I need to build more tents before we have all of our folks dying of old age with no children to replace them. So thank you for that. So we'll get some more tents, we'll get some more children up in here. But yeah, I don't like giving away food. And food, like venison is only like a 1 trade value or something like that. It's just not worth it. Like 400 venison for getting rid of some of our food resource and all of our folks dying. It's not worth. So yeah. So I think that's probably a good place to stop. We have a good food situation. None of our folks are freezing to death, which is good. I have actually done that where we were in a desert on the warm, arid climate, and I thought we didn't need any firewood, and they all died after like 10 years. So, lesson learned there. But, yeah, good times. Leather and venison, good deal. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a good place to stop. We are at a sustainable level, and we can work on iron production next time. I am going to think about if I want to do the fuel refinery and all of that jazz, or if we just want to go directly into that blast furnace. We'll have to see. We do have a supply of wood coming in now. So these should start, yeah, so these are automatically gathering old growth trees for us. So we do have wood coming in without having to sacrifice our food production, which is good. So we can continue from there. So if you have any questions, suggestions, comments, or anything, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. You can hit up Discord if you want to talk to me between or after streams. I'm usually on there for at least a couple hours a day, just to kind of answer all your questions and chat with you fine folks. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. You can hit the bell icon, even though YouTube will still not notify you that I am streaming. But when they do eventually fix the notifications in a couple of years, maybe it'll be useful. So go ahead and hit that bell icon and leave a like if you liked. Otherwise, take care and see you next time.